Making headlines, Maldives strongly condemns the chemical attack in eastern Ghouta, Syria on Saturday, which killed a number of innocent women and children. Elections Commission decides to hold separate meetings with parties regarding the upcoming presidential election. ADB, in collaboration with Economic Ministry, holds a consultation workshop on NSW project. And Air France reveals it will increase its flight operations to Maldives during winter of this year. Hello and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Mariam Shaushat. The government of Maldives strongly condemns the chemical attack in eastern Ghouta, Syria on Saturday, which killed a number of innocent women and children. Videos released on the internet purport to show bodies of men, women and children, some of them with foam at the mouth, after a chemical attack against a besieged rebel-held town in Syria, where medical aid groups reported dozens of people were killed by poison gas. One video released on social media shows a room full of bodies lying still and pale on the floor. A joint statement by the medical relief organization Syrian American Medical Society SAMS and the Civil Defense Service, which operates in rebel-held areas, said 49 people had died in the attack in the town of Douma. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs affirmed that Maldives commits to the efforts of the international community to stop such horrific acts and ensure peace and security for all. Elections Commission of Maldives decides to hold separate meetings with parties regarding the upcoming presidential election. The Elections Commission previously decided to hold discussions with parties altogether to disclose information about the presidential election. The Commission has revealed all political parties have accepted the invitation for discussions and 4 representatives from each party will be allowed in the meetings. According to Electoral Body of Maldives, the meetings will focus on providing relevant information to political parties and on ways to hold a free, fair and credible election. The Elections Commission has commenced the preparations for presidential election, which is planned to be held in August or September. The Asian Development Bank ADB, in collaboration with the Ministry of Economic Development, holds a consultation workshop on National Single Window NSW project. The consultation workshop was held at Kurumba, Maldives. The consultation workshop on National Single Window NSW project gathered government and private stakeholders to review the progress on ongoing preparatory work on NSW project and discuss the action plans for the next step. Addressing the inauguration ceremony, Minister of Economic Development Mohammed Said called on every institution present at the workshop to work towards the end result rather than stopping implementation with the kick-off of the project. Noting that kicking off is easier and achieving the end goals are not, Economic Minister Said stated end results are impossible unless government agencies and stakeholders attach significant importance to making it a reality.
My presence here today is to convince the trade community, the public, on the importance of embracing us towards the solution. Kicking off is easy, but seeing the end result is challenging. Unless the government agencies and the stakeholders attach significant importance making this a reality.
Asian Development Bank ADB is currently supporting the government of Maldives to prepare a NSW in line with the operational priorities for trade facilitation. Economic Minister thanked officials of ADB for the dedication towards the project and convincing the Maldivian authorities on the importance of establishing such an online platform for the trade sector and the state to benefit immensely. Economic Minister highlighted the achievements of the past 4 years, noting that President Abdullah Yamin Abdul Gayoom prioritizes large-scale investments in the country with the belief that Maldives can capitalize on the growth of the century. The consultation workshop on NSW project serves as a venue to share the knowledge and experience on the implementation of the NSW system. The NSW will provide an efficient environment for streamlined international trade procedures between private sector stakeholders and border control agencies, leverage information and communication technology to provide online access to carry out border control procedures and enable traders and other service providers to exchange electronic forms and documents, thereby eliminating the need for physical displacement. In addition, automated processing across stakeholder systems will be enabled by the exchange of harmonized data. The NSW environment will thus provide a much more efficient set of standardized and transparent international trade procedures, enhanced border control, and more readily available data on trade flows. Ministry of Economic Development opens opportunity to submit loan applications for small and medium-sized enterprises introduced by the government to assist and enhance the economy of the country. The scheme is designed to boost productivity and creative business startups to develop the economical structure of Maldives. A statement issued by the Economic Ministry revealed those interested can apply before next Thursday. According to the Economic Ministry, the maximum amount issued under the loan scheme for individuals is set at $32,455, while a total of over $3.2 million has been allocated to grant the loans. In contrast, companies or corporate societies can attain loans amounting to $97,365. This year, loans will be issued from 8 categories, including tourism, construction, transportation, farming and fisheries, and cooperative society, in addition to service sector, waste management, and open category. Economic Ministry issued over $2.4 million as loans for small and medium-sized enterprises in 2017. While loans are issued with a 7% interest rate and a grace period of 1 year, the maximum settlement period is 9 years. Economic Ministry has revealed applications will be collected from business centres established in Nafar of Lavian Atoll, Fonodu of Lamu Atoll, Tinadu of Gafudalu Atoll, Kurudufushi of Hadalu Atoll, Kudahuadu of Dalu Atoll, and Hitadu of Addu City. The ministry noted proposals can also be submitted online. Maldives Airports Company Limited MACL reveals laying the first layer of asphalt at the northern part of the new runway has been completed. The $1 billion mega project of expanding Velana International Airport includes the development of a 3,400 meters long runway.
One major development project to be conducted by the administration is the $1 billion mega project of expanding Velana International Airport. Under the project, several new key structures are under construction at the airport, including the development of a new runway. The new runway development project, funded by a loan from the Export-Import Exim Bank of China, aims to establish a new runway measuring 3,400 meters in length and 60 meters in width, which can accommodate the largest airplanes such as Airbus A380. According to Maldives Airports Company Limited MACL, laying of the sub-base of the runway after levelling of 77 hectares of the land, which was reclaimed to develop the airport, began in 2016. In this regard, MACL revealed that 3 layers of the sub-bases have been laid, with the first layer of the asphalt laid at the northern part of the runway. MACL highlighted laying of the asphalt layer on the runway has been progressing at a fast pace and would be successfully completed according to the schedule.
Agriculture has been one of the main income sources of Maldives. With President Abdullah Yamin Abdul Gayoom assuming office in 2013, strategic steps and measures has been taken to enhance the sector. In this regard, over $320,000 have been spent in developing young and new farmers in the past 4 years.
President Abdullah Yamin Abdul Gayoom assumed office in 2013 with an all-inclusive development policy. Under the objective, President Yamin has been successful in enhancing sectors such as tourism, fisheries, construction and infrastructure. One such other field has advanced in the past 4 years is the agriculture sector of Maldives. The administration has aimed at doubling the number of individuals who take up farming as a profession, while also trying to provide profitable markets and technologically advancing harvesting methods for the farmers. With the revolution of the agricultural sector, the administration expects Maldivian farmers to attain an annual income of $389,000. According to statistics of Ministry of Fisheries and Agriculture, a total of 7,536 farmers, which include 544 men and 3,992 women from 78 islands, have registered as farmers in the past 4 years. With youth being one major focus, the administration has aimed at a special loan scheme for young farmers. In this regard, over $376,000 have been allocated to grant loans for 86 individuals, which include 50 men and 36 women from a total of 9 atolls.
Air France reveals it will increase its flight operations to Maldives during winter of this year. The French flag carrier revealed the airliner will operate the new Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner during winter. Air France currently operates 2 weekly flights to Velana International Airport. The airline uses a variant of Boeing 777-200ER in its flight operations to Maldives. Air France confirmed the airline filed operational changes for its seasonal Maldives service for winter 2018-19 season. According to Air France, from November 1st, the 2 weekly Paris-Male flights will be operated by the new Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner aircraft, replacing 777-200ER, and starting from December 10th, the airline will introduce a 3rd weekly rotation, operating on Mondays from Paris and Tuesdays from Male. Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner aircraft can accommodate 290 passengers. Air France began operating direct flights to the Maldives in November 2017. France is an important source market for the Maldives tourism industry. According to statistics, 6,335 tourists arrived from France in January of this year. This is an increase of 30.1% compared to the same month of last year. In addition, 8,058 tourists from France arrived in February this year, which is an increase of 18.8% compared to the same month of last year. A Chinese expert says the trade friction with the US will not have a big impact on the Chinese economy, which has been running stably with a good momentum of growth. Trade friction between China and the US has been escalating as US President Donald Trump announced on Thursday that he had asked the US trade representative to consider additional tariffs for Chinese products worth $100 billion. China responded that it would fight back resolutely without any hesitation if the US announces a list of Chinese products subjected to additional tariffs. This has been the 3rd round of trade fire exchange between the two economic giants, all of which were initiated by the US side. In the first 2 rounds, the US slapped a tariff on steel and aluminum imports from China under its Section 232 investigation, as well as proposed additional tariffs on Chinese imports worth $50 billion as a result of its Section 301 investigation. China responded firmly with tariff plans of equal weight. Deputy Director of the Academy of Microeconomic Research under the National Development and Reform Commission (NDRC), Wang Chenglin said China's stable economic performance, supply-side structural reform and domestic demand expansion have helped the country deal with the trade friction. Meanwhile, risks of job losses directly brought by the trade friction is well under control. In response to the U.S. Section 301 investigation, China on Wednesday unveiled a list of U.S. products worth $50 billion that will be subjected to higher tariffs, including soybeans, automobiles, and chemical products. Wang said the impact of the tariffs on China's consumer price index CPI is controllable. On the contrary, China's choice of U.S. soybean import as a countermeasure to the U.S. protectionist measure will bring a big impact on the U.S. economy, as farmers have been expressing concerns over the loss of the huge Chinese market. Statistics showed that total retail sales of consumer goods in China reached $6 trillion last year. Regarding the foreign exchange market, Wang said the volatility in the RMB-USD bilateral exchange rate is expected to be maintained throughout the year, with a stable exchange rate expectation. At the same time, China's stock market will benefit from the economy's high-quality growth, the industrial structural optimization and consumption upgrade, as well as the enhanced profitability of enterprises.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على حي على الفلاح حي على الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الله رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة والدرجة الرفيعة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته وارزقنا شفاعته برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى الله على محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Welcome once again to PSM News in English with me, Mariam Shawshat. Rebel fighters begin leaving the devastated Syrian city of Douma in the first phase of a Russian-sponsored deal to evacuate thousands of rebels from the besieged enclave. A bus carrying dozens of fighters and their families left the city en route to opposition-held areas in northern Syria in an arrangement expected to take several days. The state television showed almost simultaneously a first batch of freed hostages held by the rebels, and Douma arrived at an army-controlled crossing. They received a euphoric welcome from hundreds of relatives waiting for them before being whisked away to a reception center. Both developments were part of a Russian-sponsored deal sealed that grants safe passage to thousands of rebels from their biggest remaining bastion near Damascus, in return for the rebels releasing hundreds of hostages and prisoners of war. Opposition negotiators said the agreement will be enforced by Russian military police who will enter the city. The deal brought President Bashar al-Assad one of his biggest victories over the rebels since driving them from Aleppo in December 2016, though they remain entrenched in significant areas of northwestern and southwestern Syria. According to rescuers and a monitoring group, it follows a 7-week government offensive to capture the towns and villages on the outskirts of the Syrian capital, in which more than 1,600 people have been killed. Medical aid groups reported that dozens of people were killed by poison gas in Douma on Saturday in an attack the rebels say was carried out by Damascus. The government has denied carrying out any such attack. Under the agreement, rebel fighters will evacuate Douma and move to the northern city of Jarablus, near the border with Turkey, within 48 hours. Commercial crossing points into the besieged city are to be opened under the supervision of Russian military police, who will also enter the city. Russian military police have played a similar role in some Syrian towns and villages, but this would be first such deal in a city the size of Douma. Opposition negotiators said the deal would allow those fighters from Jaish al-Islam who do not wish to leave to make peace with the Syrian authorities without being pursued by the security forces. The deal includes a 6-month reprieve for those wanted for military conscription. The Japanese Football Association dismisses Wahid Halilhodžić as head coach of the Japanese national team just 2 months before the World Cup finals. Kyodo News Agency quoted the Japanese Football Association president Kosho Tashima as saying the Bosnian had been informed of the decision and his replacement would be announced at a news conference later in the day. The timing of the decision means Halilhodžić's replacement will have little time to prepare for the World Cup, where Japan are drawn in Group H alongside Colombia, Poland and Senegal. Japan have 3 friendly matches scheduled before opening their World Cup campaign against Colombia on June 19th. Halilhodžić, who took over in March 2015, led the team to their 6th straight World Cup finals after they finished top of Asian qualifying Group B ahead of Saudi Arabia and Australia. However, pressure on the 65-year-old has been building, and a draw with Mali and defeat to Ukraine in friendly matches last month did nothing to ease concerns about the team's form heading into the World Cup. Japan's next warm-up game for the World Cup is against Ghana on May 30th. A Quiet Place scares up a win at the North American weekend box office from Friday to Monday. According to boxofficemojo.com, the horror film starring real-life wife and husband Emily Blunt and John Krasinski took in $50 million during its debut weekend.
Welcome to the rebellion, Wade.
Coming in at number 2 is Steven Spielberg's Ready Player One, that added $25 million to its global haul of $191 million. In third place is newcomer Blockers, about a group of teenage girls. The comedy raked in $21.4 million.
I'm the only one who's seen it.
Holding over from previous weeks, Black Panther saw an additional $8.4 million added to its international sales of $1.2 billion. I Can Only Imagine, a film about faith and songwriting, added $8.35 million to its domestic haul of nearly $70 million.
So I wrote this song for my dad.
And that's all we have for you right now. Stay tuned for more news updates. Thank you for joining us. Have a pleasant day ahead. Goodbye.